Hello everyone, my name is Code Freak. Welcome to my channel. Please be sure to like and hit the subscribe button below. Today's video is part 4 of my tutorial about making original music without knowing how to play live instruments. In this video, I will be covering the basics of what you need to know about drawing automation in Cakewalk. If you prefer to use different software than Cakewalk, feel free to adapt my tutorial to the corresponding settings in your DAW. Automation is a way to change a parameter of a track, instrument, or effect dynamically within a project. It uses a tool called an envelope, which is essentially a customizable graph the software reads while playing back audio. Depending on the value of a graph's position at a given time, the corresponding setting will change to that value. Automation is often used in conjunction with a MIDI controller that has faders or knobs. For our purposes, we will not be using a MIDI controller. Instead, we will be using the mouse and PC keyboard to draw in automation. It takes more time to accomplish, but it's generally more precise than using MIDI controllers. A very simple example of automation in action is changing the volume of a track partway through a project. For instance, say you have a synth instrument like this one. Let's draw a long note and play it back. As you can hear, the synthesizer's sound changes the longer the note is sustained. Now let's say you want to change the volume of the instrument consistently and automatically as the song plays. To do this, go into the synth's instrument track here. If you have increased the track size enough, you will see two buttons at the bottom of the track. Left-click on the N-shaped one here. This toggles the automation lanes. You will see a new row appear below the instrument track with a flat line on it. This line is the envelope. It starts and ends with points called nodes. In this example, after the second node, the solid envelope becomes dotted. Anytime playback reaches the dotted part of an envelope, the track stops reading the changes until the envelope becomes solid again. In many cases, any new node you add to the end of an envelope automatically extends the solid part of it, like so. To reset a node's value, double-click on a node, like so. In this case, the default value is 0.0 decibels, or dB. Now, when I play back the instrument from the beginning, you can see and hear the volume automatically and consistently change along with the envelope. Keep in mind that when you start playback in the middle of a MIDI note, the instrument plays the note as if it started there. For the most accurate result when analyzing what you've done, start playback before the recent MIDI notes begin. To add or remove automation lanes for different parameters, left-click the plus or minus buttons located here. Know that removing an automation lane is not the same as deleting an envelope. To delete an envelope, right-click anywhere on the line and select Delete Envelope. To edit a node, right-click on the node you want to edit and select Properties, then enter the value you want the node to represent. Depending on the type of envelope, the values the nodes represent may differ. Some envelope values represent percentages, others represent the corresponding settings directly. Bear this in mind when adjusting the node on an envelope. Keep in mind that not all settings are necessarily able to be automated. You can also toggle the automation lanes on and off. Be aware that if you are using automation to change the parameter of an effect, deleting the effect before deleting the envelope can sometimes cause confusion and other issues, as the envelope can sometimes remain even if the effect is removed. As I mentioned earlier, in addition to parameters of virtual instruments, you can also use automation with settings and effects plugins like compression, delay, pitch shifting, and reverb. To do this, left-click on the Plugins tab in the browser on the right. Select the leftmost button under the tabs, labeled Audio Effects, and drag and drop an effect of your choice onto the box on the instrument track, labeled FX. Setting up automation for audio effects works the same as with virtual instruments. It is important to note that the automation lanes for MIDI tracks are different from the audio and instrument tracks automation lanes. MIDI tracks have separate effects not compatible with audio and instrument tracks, and the usage of MIDI automation lanes do not affect parameters of virtual instruments. You can also use automation with the master track and other tracks the instruments feed audio into. These tracks are called buses. To do this, go to the bottom of the track view, left-click on the thin border above the scroll bar, and while holding down the left mouse button, drag the cursor up to reveal the buses. Regarding automation, buses work similarly to regular audio tracks. Now you know the basics of what you need in order to use automation to dynamically and consistently change parameters throughout a song. Thank you for watching Part 4. Check out my social media links in the description below, and be sure to take a look at Part 5 of this tutorial series, where we cover drum maps and how to use them. See you guys next time!